All right, we do want to welcome back Niall Stanage, now White House columnist at The Hill. Niall, thanks so much for staying with us.
Good to be with you, Natasha.
Let's first talk about this new report that Ali was first addressing, showing the Biden administration is considering that plan to force migrant families to stay in Texas while they await asylum screening. Who exactly would this proposal help or hurt?
Politically or in humanitarian terms, you mean?
Let's start with politically.
So I think that the purpose, if it were to go into action, and of course we're basing this largely on a Los Angeles Times report, if this went into action, the idea would be that you would stem the transportation of migrants from a place like Texas to those other major cities. I suppose you could make the argument that that would ultimately benefit Democrats to some degree if it stopped or contained the so-called migrant crisis within a particular area, and Democrats aren't going to probably win Texas anyway anytime soon. But there's a lot of detail that we don't know about this proposal, so extrapolating out from it is still difficult at this stage.
And what about in a humanitarian way? I know that the plan is expected to upset immigrant rights groups.
Yeah, it is. I mean, immigrant rights groups make the point for a start that people do have the right to claim asylum. I mean, that's a point that gets skipped over a lot in some of the more fervent or hot rhetoric on this issue. People have a legal right to claim asylum, whether one likes that or not, and they have the right to have those claims adjudicated. Now, then you get into a whole other mess because it is presumed that a lot of these claims are false and the numbers are massive. What do you do with these massive numbers of people whom the system can't process in an expeditious way? The danger, of course, is that they disappear into the shadows, they work, and they disappear from the system. That's the problem, and there's not an obvious way to resolve it in a humanitarian way.
Okay, and meanwhile, it just seems like things are heightening between President Biden and Governor Greg Abbott. We know that he said, quote, "This scam was tried years ago and was shot down by a judge. We will send Biden the same swift justice." So, Niall, will this plan ever come to fruition, or is it likely to be shot down?
I have difficulty seeing this particular plan coming to fruition. It would automatically and instantly face legal challenge. Governor Abbott there making that point about a previous attempt that at least he is arguing is in some way analogous to this. The barriers to this happening seem quite high to me, so I don't anticipate it coming into effect anytime soon.
Okay, and meanwhile, New York Mayor Eric Adams says that the ongoing migrant crisis will destroy his city, and city officials estimate that situation could cost NYC $12 billion over 3 years. What can the state and federal government do to help? It seems like it's a crisis there.
It does seem like it's a crisis. Mayor Adams has obviously appealed for money from the federal government to try to offset the costs that are being borne predominantly by New York City and to a lesser extent New York State at this point. The problem, of course, or the situation is one where the city is having to deal with this massive influx of migrants. New York City, as you may be aware, Natasha, has a long-standing practice or law that people are entitled to shelter if they arrive there. And so that creates a ballooning of costs that there's no obvious way out of unless the federal government simply gives them the money. And of course, if the federal government does give them the money, it would face similar appeals from Chicago and every other city that this is a situation in.
Okay. Niall Stanage, always appreciate it. It's a complicated topic, but thank you so much for helping us parse through it.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.